Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I Am Patience. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about why your protective styles may not be combing your hair. So naturally, as a society, I've been obsessed with protective styling for a few years now, maybe a decade now. We all hear it, protective style. But maybe you do that and you're wondering, my hair is still not growing or not retaining length as much as I thought it would, and you were trying to find out, what am I doing wrong? So here's my opinion based on my experience, and I just want to share with you. But before I do that, remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get straight into it. One of the first reasons is that you might just not be leaving it in long enough. What does that mean? Maybe you're doing mini braids. I love mini braids. And then next week you take them out. And then you do it again, and in another week you take it out. It's too much manipulation. So from what I go for, when I do mini braids, I typically leave it in for about 4 weeks, sometimes shorter. Once in a while, I feel like I have something to do or go to and I want my hair to be out, I may just take it out in about 2 weeks, but oftentimes it is 4 weeks. My hair routine is typically in 5-week installments. So typically 4 of those weeks, my hair is in braids. And so I just love to leave it that way because mini braids are inexpensive to do. I do them myself and they stay neat for longer. My hair is not frizzy, and I just leave it in for 4 weeks. It goes really well with my lifestyle. Then I take it out, wear it out for about a week, and then I do it all over again. So making sure that you're at least giving your hair time to breathe. Your hair grows about ½ an inch a month. So if you're leaving it in for about a month, then you're getting about ½ an inch of hair growth and possibly retention. So just make sure that you're not doing off and on every week, every 2 to 4 days. Instead, do a protective styling. Try leaving it for at least 2 weeks and see how your hair retains growth. The next reason is that on the extreme side, you might be leaving your hair in the protective styles for way too long. Everybody has a limit. All the benefits that you get from protective styles may be lost after a threshold. Now you have to decide that for yourself. But the longest was, maybe it was 10, I think it was maybe 8 weeks. And that's how I used to do them very, very small. But what I realized, and the reason why I don't do them as small anymore, is because when I do that, my hair easily gets tangled. It takes, first of all, a long time to take them out. So I start to rush in trying to take them out. I'm not being as gentle as I should. They're so small, and because of their size, after leaving them in for 8 weeks, I start to see that it's almost like stuck in a way. So it takes a lot more work to just untangle it. So I decided not to do it as small, and definitely not to leave them in it for that long time. But I mean, I still got the benefits of it. However, if you're leaving your protective style in for months upon months, that when you take it out, you're losing so much hair, because there is going to be shedding. But the difference between shedding and breakage is huge. So making sure that you're not leaving your protective styles for months, because that could be damaging as well. The next thing is that you may not be preparing your hair properly to put in that hairstyle. So I have a whole hair care routine before I put in my mini braids or mini twists. So I would always make sure that to wash my hair, to shampoo it, to clean my scalp, make sure any buildup is off, and I wash it out. So I don't wash it in the braids and then take it out and then do it. I wash it out to make sure I get everything. And then I deep condition my hair, and I moisturize it, I stretch it, so I make sure it's in a really good position to make sure I install it. And so with the parting and everything, I make sure that my hair is moisturized before they get into that style. Making sure that you take care of your hair before you put it in. Don't just take old brittle hair and then put in cornrows or put in some twists and then think that your hair is protected, but it's dry, it could be unmoisturized, it's just not in a good state to do so. So before you put in your protective styling, make sure your hair is clean, it is moisturized, and it is ready to grow and thrive. The next possibility is that you're not taking care of your hair once it's in protective styles. And I've seen this happen with people who wear wigs a lot because they put in their cornrows, they put on their wig, and theoretically speaking, your hair should really thrive in that state because your hair is being left alone. But the problem is that a lot of times people are not taking care of their hair under their protective styles if they are not using their own hair for the protective styles. So if you are putting on a wig, but then for weeks you're not washing your hair, you're not keeping your hair moisturized, your hair is getting dry, it is breaking in there, because not just the shedding but also just the breakage that is happening under your wig could be concerning. It could also happen for people who do sew-ins, because the hair is under the hair that is on top of their head, and that could be a huge issue. So just making sure that you maintain it. Because I do mini braids and mini twists, I would often just make sure to wash my hair at least every other week. Once they are in there, I sometimes do weekly, every other week, and then I moisturize it. Now I don't over moisturize, I'm not moisturizing it every day, but for the first week, because I already put in a lot of moisture when I put in my mini braids, I don't moisturize it. But a week after, I start moisturizing it every like 3 days. 3 days, 4 days longest, so at least twice a week. And it just keeps my hair protected, moisturized, and in a good state whilst it's in that protective style. So when I take it out, my hair is still healthy, my hair is still strong, and my hair is still moisturized. The fifth thing is that you may not be doing the right protective styles. And this is nothing against, what you want to do, but everything is not for everybody. So find out what works for you. I know there's so many cute styles on Instagram, on YouTube, TikTok, any social media, or even just in person, but everybody's hair is not for everything. Like I said, my hair is not for wash and goes. I saw people do wash and goes. I loved it. I wanted to try it, but I wasn't successful after 2 times, so I kind of gave up. I may try one day, who knows. I just decided to find something else that works for me, and I find that okay, this may not work, but this works. So make sure you find out what styles work for you. Because I recommend mini twists and mini braids for my hair, doesn't mean it would be the best for you. You can try it though. So try it, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, you find something else that does. And I've seen so many people who do, say, box braids as their protective styles, and it works for them. Some people do wigs, weaves, and a whole other stuff. I just prefer a cheaper, more sustainable option, and that's why I just decided on mini twists and mini braids, because for me and my lifestyle, they are more sustainable. So find out for you what is sustainable, what is affordable, and what is comfortable for you, and use those protective hairstyles as your go-to rather than jumping from style to style. The next thing is that your protective hairstyles may just be too tight, and that has a counter effect on your hair, because the whole part about protecting your hair is against over manipulation, against damage, against just things that would harm it. So, and you want to retain length. Now if you're doing it too tight, you might not just be losing the ends of your hair to breakage, you might just be losing the follicles of your hair. A lot of time people braid so tightly, and the style looks nice, but sometimes it looks like they've been like braiding their scalp. It's so tight. So speak up. If you're the type of person who goes to the salon to get your hair braided, speak up if they are too tight. For example, if you go get a sew-in and then they're braiding your hair and it's tight, and you want to leave that sewing in for like a month or 2, make sure you speak up, because you don't want to go an entire month with a headache or with your hair follicles just being ripped out of your scalp. So making sure that you speak up, you know what's best for your hair. If you're the type of person who, like me, who often do their hair on their own, it's really important that you don't braid tightly. Keep the hair comfortable. If you feel like it's too tight, maybe you shouldn't be braiding it so tight. Don't just think, oh, in a couple of days they'll be loose. The damage that can be done in a couple of days could be detrimental to your hair follicles. There are some people who have had alopecia, like also hair loss, and all these things because of super tight hairstyles. So make sure that you are protecting your hair, but keep them comfortable. And the next thing is that a hairstyle could be too heavy. I remember the first time in my life, this was in middle school, when I saw somebody with braids down to the floor, like it was almost like to the floor. And while that may be a style, not the most practical, but definitely not the healthiest for your hair as well, because it could just be too heavy, that it is pulling down your hair. and that's probably is not helpful or beneficial to your hair. So make sure that whatever hairstyles you go for, especially if you're adding in hair, because nobody's hair for the most part is naturally that heavy. I know locks and dreads could like be heavy, but I'm talking about having added hair, because those ones are gradual. With added hair, it's instant. So your hair is not used to that force, it's not used to that pressure, and it's just weighing your hair down and pulling the hair from your scalp. So making sure that your hairstyles are not too heavy, because again, it's not comfortable for you or for your hair follicles. The eighth thing is that you can be taking them down too harshly or not giving yourself enough time to do so. Of course, it's time consuming, but it's important to lay down a time where you yourself can go through your hair and take it out of your protective styles. What good is protecting your hair for like a month or two, then just spending a few minutes trying to like break your hair and take it down and yanking? You're destroying all the progress that you just made, and that's not helpful to you as a person who has the goal of growing and retaining length. So making sure that you dedicate that time, even if it's like an hour, 2 hours, it could be more depending on what hairstyle you have. And it's important to also think about that when you put in that hairstyle. So when I do mini braids and mini twists, I do know that taking them down was a long time. I remember the most amount of time I spent was almost 8 hours taking down my hair. I didn't do it all in one day. I did it across like 2 days, but it was very time consuming. I just can't do that. That's why I backed off from doing super mini braids into doing like more medium-sized mini braids. And now it takes me about an hour or two, while also making sure I re-moisturize my hair. Maybe if I want to detangle it, comb it out. That's more sustainable for me to do once a month than for me to be spending 8 hours taking down my hair. Sometimes with box braids, I know sometimes it takes people maybe 3-4 hours. Consider that, especially since the longer your hair gets, the more length you have to go through in taking them out. So consider that and make sure that you are spending the needed amount of time and not rushing and breaking your hair. The next thing is that during the process of putting in your protective styles, you might be using too much heat. You don't need to blow dry your hair to go get box braids. You don't need to blow dry your hair to get some mini braids or some twists. Now, does this have a certain look that you may want? Yes, but if you have to blow dry your hair every single time before you put in some mini braids or some mini twists or get some box braids or even a weave or a wig, it may not just be worth it. You may want to find different alternatives to stretching your hair. I've even heard of people flat ironing their hair to get box braids because some of the braiders are like, I don't braid hair in its natural state. What's the point then? When I am doing my hair, I do the braids, the big braids, to stretch it out and have it dry, and then I take it out for my mini braids. And that has been so helpful to me because I don't have time to go through my hair, blow drying it every single time I need to put in some mini braids. And it doesn't make sense for me because I don't even see the benefits of doing such a thing. And the last but absolutely not the least, this is very important, is that the hairstylist you're going to might just be too harsh on your hair. Some hairstylists do not care about the health of your hair long term or what you're trying to do with hair goes. They may just be interested in making sure the style looks the best that it can, so they get a good review, they take pictures for Instagram. But what happens to your hair after they have braided like almost your scalp? What is happening to it? It's causing tension. They might be pulling, yanking, and you think, oh, I'm just tender-headed. It might not be you. Your hairstylist might just be doing too much with the hair, the pulling and the combing and the stretch. It might just be too much, and you may need to talk to them. Speak up. Do not keep quiet on it. If the hairstyle is too tight, if they're doing something that you don't like, heard of situations where people have gone with their natural hair and then the hairstylist has like put relaxer in the shampoo. This is all things that are damaging to your hair. So making sure that you speak up for yourself, you advocate for yourself, because nobody's gonna advocate for you the way you are. Speak up. Your voice deserves to be heard. It's your hair at the end of the day, and it's your right to determine what you want to be done to it. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Let me know in the comment section. Have you ever used protective stylings that did not help, or at least you weren't retaining length? And how did you change it in order to make sure your hair thrives? And if you are going through that right now, which of these steps do you think you want to implement to ensure that your hair grows and it thrives? Let me know. And let me know if you try it and it does work. Come back and let me know. It's always good to read your comments. Thank you so much for all of your feedback, and I really appreciate it. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.